Just Give Me 5 is more than just a brand. It's really our way of giving back to the individuals who helped pave the way for so many opportunities today. Feels good giving them a chance to tell their story and let them be heard. Because if it wasn't for them, a lot of things wouldn't really exist. I'm Dave Miranda, and all I'm saying is just give me 5. In 1991, a young woman out of Phoenix, Arizona, gave the world a timeless dance record that has certainly stood the test of time. But don't get it twisted, she could do it all. She was crowned Miss Black Arizona. She performed at both Bill Clinton's presidential inauguration ceremonies. She was the first foreign female to perform in South Africa post-apartheid. Michael Jackson had her come and perform in his United We Stand concert. I mean, the list goes on. And we're going to get into all that right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you the one, the only, CeCe Peniston. CeCe, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'd like to welcome you to the Just Give Me 5 show.
Thank you.
It is an absolute honor. We are just so excited to have you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
You know, the whole main focus of this show was to basically just to shine light on a lot of the Arizona legends, the pioneers, the ones who just were setting things off. And CeCe, you are without a doubt one of those individuals.
Thank you.
You know, a legend, period. But, you know, so it is so deserving. And yeah, it's just a total treat. And we're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I feel so blessed to still be able to do what I love to do since 1990, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Since finally came out. I was actually started when I was around 11 years old. But
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I got to give a shout out to your brother, Greg, you know, for making this happen as well. You know, GP Mick came through and, you know, but it's all about timing. We've been trying to do this for a while and now we're here and, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay.
So what inspired you to become a singer?
You know, I just felt it in my soul. I remember being in, you know, the 6th grade. I was in class. You know how you had to take that music class, like when you were younger, right? And it's something about my first play that I did that I hit the stage and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be a singer when I grow up.
Right.
And I was so excited. And it's like to have it come to fruition, like so many years later, it was beyond me that's really what I could do for a living. And they always say, find something that you love to do.
Yeah.
And so to be able to make that dream come true was really something special for me.
Because so you were born in Dayton, Ohio.
Yes.
Right. And then you made the transition to Arizona when you were like 9?
Yeah, we were like 9 years. I was like 9 years old when I came to Arizona. My father was in the military. Yep. Stationed here on base housing. And we liked it so much, we ended up staying here.
Wow. So it's like now you discover you're a kid, you discover that you could sing. What are you doing? Are you hitting talent shows? Like, what are you doing to get heard?
Oh, yeah, definitely hitting the talent shows, little karaoke shows, little talent shows. It's funny because they always had like the cash prizes, so I'll be like laying my clothes out like I won $300.
Right.
You know, it was always it was always exciting. You know. Yeah.
And then from there on, you ended up going. So then you go to high school. You went to Trevor Brown, correct?
Yeah.
So now you're at Trevor Brown, and you did a play, right? Bubbling Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
It was a theater production?
Actually, I did that when I was like 13. I did it with a black theater troupe.
Okay, so that was right before high school.
Yes.
Okay. And how was that experience?
I love that. That was like my first real introduction to, you know, working hard, working along with other people in a stage production where you're bouncing off of each other with, you know, the different lines and stuff like that. So I was one of the babies of the group. So that was like a huge introduction into theater for me.
Wow, man. And then, so now you're in high school. What are you doing there? Is it talent shows still? Like, what are you doing in high school to let people know, like, you know, I'm CeCe Peniston.
You know what?
I'm on the come up. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I still was doing the talent shows. I started with doing pageants, though.
Yes.
You know, beauty pageants and stuff like that, which taught me a lot about poise. It was easier. Like the interview section was like, you had to have interviews like questions ready to go.
Ready to go.
So it taught me how to be poised on stage, how to be comfortable in interviewing, and then the performance aspect also as well. So
yeah, yeah. And then by doing so, what was it, in 1989 you were crowned Miss Black Arizona?
I know, that's
How
so
was that?
crazy. It was crazy. It was such a welcome, an award, a welcoming award for me. I was really surprised, because I had just done the Miss Galaxy pageant,
right?
And then I did the Miss Black Arizona pageant. I hated the bathing suit segment at that point.
Okay,
because I was developed, and I was like, I don't want it.
Right, right. It's too much. It's too much.
So, but the other parts of it, I loved. It was like I felt like it was my home when I hit the stage.
How many people were competing in that?
I think it was about probably 20 girls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is 1989. What's the scene like in Arizona at that time?
You know what? I think to me it was like really popping as far as like music, and being like I felt like music was really popping during that time. It was different artists trying to come out of Arizona at the time. It was Malika.
Yeah.
So it was Malika.
Shout out to Malika. Yeah.
No, I just saw her yesterday. Overweight Pooch.
Right. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Overweight Pooch, and then Felipe was doing the production. Him and RK. And so then around Arizona, they used to have all the bands that used to play around Arizona. And every time I would go out to a club, they would be like, "Hey, you want to sing?" I was like, "Sure." So it was like that, like kind
of open mics or something.
Yeah,
or
open mics.
Okay.
Yep.
What were some of the clubs at that time? You know what I mean? Because I was 6, so I'm like, what was outside? You know what I mean? What were some of the clubs that you were hitting up to do those?
Benny's, Jockey Club.
Yeah.
I think the Roxy.
Yep. Wow, man. What was that feeling like though when you got crowned like Miss Black Arizona? Like, do you remember that? I'm sure you do.
I do. In fact, it's
kind of surreal.
It actually was. It's funny because I was going through all these VHS tapes at my house, and I was looking, and that was one of the tapes that I was looking at. I was like, man, this was such a real moment because it's something that I wanted to do. And my mother at the time, she was like, well, baby, if you really want to do it, you can do it, but you're going to have to raise the money yourself at the time. And so I went around and went to Kenny Shoes and went to different places and asked people to help me with it. And so to work really hard for it and to get it was like, wow.
And that's just an incredible feeling, and it's an incredible accomplishment. Nobody can take that from you, especially in the 80s. It's like, and to come out here, you're like making you're making a statement, like, I have arrived, you know what I mean? And so.
Yeah, it was like one of those things like where I didn't really realize how the community really rallied around like the pageants and stuff like that at the time. And I was getting recognition around Arizona because I kept doing like different events. That's the time when I was doing events and I was making like $50 an event or $100. And they were like,
paying dues,
hey, can CeCe come out and sing 3 songs? We've got $100 for her to come out. And I was like, shoot, I'm in high school. Let me get that extra change.
Let me get that money. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Those mouths don't get fed,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was like just to start working on the career portion of that was amazing.
And so now when you were crowned Miss Black Arizona, you were at PC, right?
Yeah, I was at Phoenix College, and I was really debating about doing it because my mom at the time was like, hey, I need you to if you want to do it, I would love for you to do it, but you got to raise the money. So I went down to Kenny Shoes and I went someplace else in the mall because I was working there at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can you guys help sponsor my shoes or my dress?
Right.
And so it was just like an unbelievable thing because I really didn't know that the community rallied around like the pageants and events such as that. And, it was just an amazing blessing when it happened, which put me out into the community more where I started doing like gigs and they were paying me like $100 to $50 and they were like, hey, can you come out?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So tell us how Finally was created.
But before we get into that, I just want to just say rest in peace to Overweight Pooch and her family.
Yes, absolutely. God
You
bless.
know, yeah, she was the one who was on A&M Records before me.
Yeah, help set it off.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So she was on A&M Records before me. I did 3 songs for her. Female Preacher, Kicking the Blues, and I Like It. I Like It was one of my faves.
That was
one
the
of my
joint.
faves.
That was the joint.
To
Yeah.
this day,
Right.
okay? And so that was the very first song that I did in the studio. Wait, no, it was Marvelous JC's record.
Okay.
Give me what you got.
Give me what you got. Yeah.
And so Marvelous JC before Overweight Pooch, but Felipe was working with Pooch and he was working with A&M. Mm-hmm. So at the time they were like, "Hey, we love what you did with Overweight Pooch's project.
Yeah.
Can you give us something else?" And I was like, "Well, sure. I have this other song. I don't know if you're gonna like it or not." And it was finally.
And that was a poem, right?
Yeah,
Originally?
it was a poem that turned
Wow.
into a song that turned into a career, I say.
Wow. It was RK and Wax, so and
Yes.
Felipe, so they were handling the production of that. So they had the record ready, right? And then but you had the song, and then everything just kind of coincided with one another.
What it was is I sang them the melody.
Okay.
I was working with my boy Fred. We were playing around with different melodies and stuff like that. I was working with him, and I was like, "Hey, Fred, I like how this sounds." Right? That was Relaford. So we was like, I brought it to Wax and them, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I sang it to him, and he was like, "Don't." Don't. He started doing the loop, and then RK came up with the chords, and that's how everything
Rest
went.
was history, man.
Yeah, man.
Wow. And did you know when you recorded it, like we got one?
I had no idea.
It
I
just
still
was
get
happening.
chills. I still get chills to this day,
Yeah.
because I didn't know. I was so just young
the
and
moment,
naive
huh?
and in the moment.
Yeah.
And so when they told me, they were like, "Hey, you've got a #1," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "For real?" They were like, "Yeah, you can go ahead and quit your job. You're about to be traveling the world."
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, "Wow!" Like I was so surprised. I was really speechless at the time because it's like to be able to get it on your first try.
Just knocked it right out the park,
It's after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because perfect. Yeah, so you got the record. Now it's like, what's the tour looking like? This is your first official tour to have a hit record. What's that tour like?
It was crazy. There was times when I was doing 3 shows in one day. I would fly in. I'd take a limo. We had limos at the time. We weren't doing SUVs, right?
Yeah, right,
so I
right,
would take the limo and I would hop in the car and change, and I would go to the next show, and it'd be like one at 10, then one at 12, and they're like, "Hey, you got one at 2 a.m."
Wow.
I still have the paperwork. I know this is going to sound crazy, but my mom kept everything. I mean, I still have the paperwork saying like different clubs that I was at. I was making like 1,500 at the time,
Wow. Yeah.
I was like,
and this is 91.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's big money. You know what I'm saying? Like, And now correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'd read so you were touring with like Joe Public, the Cover Girls, like Levert, R. Kelly. Like you were,
all of those groups.
and it's funny with Joe Public, right? Like I always school people on them because a lot of people aren't aware that they were originally Keith Sweat's backup singers.
I didn't know that.
So if you hear the record "Keep It Coming" by Keith Sweat, that's them singing the chorus.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's just a little gem, you know what I mean? But that's how they originally got their start. Then they came out with Live and Learn, and you know what I mean? They started rocking the New Jack Swing. But that's how they got their start. So I saw that you were touring with them, and like the road life just must have been crazy though. I mean, you're doing 3 shows in one day.
Yeah.
It
wasn't each time, but there was times when that would happen.
Yeah, but that happened.
But then we went to the tour bus. That's when we started making the real money. Like the real money was really coming through. Like that's when you're making your 10s and 12s, and there was a couple of 50s and 75s in there, and I was really making some really good money at the time. And we had the tour bus, and we were over in Europe and just in the United States. And
what was the reaction in Europe?
It was great, especially like in London.
They've always, for whatever reason, Japan,
Yes,
Europe.
Japan.
Their appreciation for American music is damn near more than our own appreciation for it. I feel like because this is where it's created at, we kind of take things for granted. Out there, it's like everything to them. So when you went out there, you were like royalty, I'm sure, you know?
It's so funny because I went out there with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch at the time.
Wow.
And it's so crazy because they were playing shenanigans like we were on the road. We would have fun. Yeah. Like I'd be on stage and all of a sudden I see a little car, like those little rev-up cars. You see cars going across the stage or people blacking out their teeth or just
just young, you know?
Yeah.
Just having fun, living life, you know? This is all new for you guys, you know?
Absolutely. And this is the other crazy thing is that me and the Funky Bunch actually got back together. We did the ABC Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I'm going in the studio to do a song for them today.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
And look at Mark Wahlberg, how his life just blossomed after, you know, from, you know, it's like you would have never thought, you know what I mean? And it's like, look at him now, you know, but gosh, man, like what a time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's like, okay, so that's taken off, finally is doing amazing. It hit number 5, right, in the Hot 100, the US Hot 100, and then like number 2 in the UK. That's huge, you know? Like that's like amazing stuff, especially at that time, you know, because that was when like radio was everything. You know, radio's dying by the day now, you know what I mean? But it's like back then, that was the move, you know. So you got that going, you got the debut album, then you come with the second single, you know, We Got a Love Thing.
Oh my God.
Another banger.
Thank you.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was co-written by Shantae Savage?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, and I bet she'll never find her. Yeah, you know, yeah. Shantae got records, man.
I know. When she did Our Survive Over.
Yes.
Like, yeah, she definitely very talented lady. It's funny, we were in the studio and Donnell Rush, her, and all of the, you know, key players, the producers were in the studio.
Right.
And they were like, you need to sing these notes. And I was like, I can't sing. I started crying. I was crying in the studio, and he was like, honey, you better get it together because we need you to hit these notes. And I said, okay. So I started standing on my tippy toes, literally trying to hit the notes.
Wow.
And so I actually hit them because it was like, actually, that song was higher in range than my normal range at the time.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny because they were like, well, we're going to come with that next. And I was like, are you sure you need to come with that? Because I knew I had to sing it live.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if I'm kind of having some issues here, you're right. It's like in live. And those were the days where you couldn't just play a track. You know, now people are, you know what I mean? You had to get busy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, no, I feel you on that, you know, and that did well too. It peaked at like number 6, I think.
Yeah, it did really well. Like people liked it. It was a feel-good song.
Oh,
to them.
All your music is, CeCe.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It
you.
really, really is. You know, and then of course, after that, you started dipping into New Jack Swing, and you did my personal favorite record of yours, Keep On Walking.
Oh, that's one of my favorites
That
too.
is like, you know, I mean, the record just starts off. You could just, and the drums come in. Like, shout out to Steve Hurley for bodying that production. You know, it's like, I mean, this incredible record right there, you know, and that was, so then now you're tapping into New Jack Swing. And I love New Jack Swing.
Yes.
I actually host an online radio show. I'm actually doing a shameless plug right now, but it's called It's a New Jack Thing. And we pay tribute to all the New Jack Swing. And that's definitely one record that salute.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
That's still one of my favorites to this day to perform. So I do it with the girls, and then we got the whole dance routine. And
oh man, yeah, the video was hard. Like, and then even Biggie shouted it out on "Ready to Die," right?
Yeah,
if you don't like, you can keep on walking. Like CeCe, like that's fire. You know what I mean? Like that's just so dope. But that just shows you the impact that whole album, but that record in particular had. You know, and from then on, you know, so now the Finally album did very, very well. Then you come with the debut, or your sophomore album, right? Thought You Knew. Mm-hmm. And that's where you know, shout out to my mother. Her favorite record of all time is I'm in the Mood. You know what I mean? She used to play that joint, like she would be cleaning the house and she would just have that joint on, man. And it's just, oh man, that's another timeless record, you know, and I'm Not Over You. Just feel good joints, you know, and that album did well for you as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Not as well as the first one, but yeah, people, you know, people liked I'm in the mood off of that. Not over you. Let my love surround you did okay.
Yep. And then going back to the first album too, another favorite of mine was Crazy Love.
That did well.
That's a great record.
Thank you.
You know, that's like just a timeless record. It almost kind of has that Lisa Stansfield Been Around the World feel, you know? It just an absolute timeless record, you know? And so, you know, you're doing that, everything's booming, you know, and then it's interesting because you had like 2-year gaps between those albums because it was like finally dropped in 92, then in 94 Thought You Knew, and then in 96 you dropped Moving On.
Yeah.
You know, and speaking of which, I always felt that record should have got more burn than it got because that is a phenomenal song.
Well,
Moving On.
Oh, I love that one.
I remember seeing that. God, what was I, 7th grade or something? You know, seeing that on like BET. You know, they're playing it on like BET. Not Rap City in the Basement, but it was one of the segments. I think when like Rachel like was hosting or something, and they played that joint, and I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? The video was on point, and that was in '96.
I felt like I was getting into who I was as CeCe at that time. But the label kind of checked out on that album because I think they still wanted CeCe to stay in the dance lane. And that album was more R&B. And so I think they were conflicted about how to, you know, market me at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was like I just wanted to do it because I was like I could do both, and I just
do it all. Yeah.
I had done it on Finally, which wasn't so like far away, but I think I just didn't have enough dance content for them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I mean, but it's like all these projects that you're putting, you know, these records. It's like they're just so timeless, and you know, it's gotta be a great feeling, you know, to know that you know you've made so many just great records, you know, that people can relate to, that are just like such feel good, especially when you were entering like the New Jack Swing. It's like, okay, now I started off with dance, then I can do New Jack Swing. I can also do R&B. It's like you could just do it all. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying it's like not too many people can do that because, you know, like going back to the dance era, you had like Crystal Waters, you had Robin S., you know, and shout out to Robin S. because when I first heard Show Me Love, I thought that was you. I'm sure you've gotten that before.
Yeah.
I mean, you close your eyes and listen to that joint. That's CeCe. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but shout out to Robin. She's a legend in her own right, of course. You know what I mean? But like, I just remember when I heard that in 93, I was like, is that CeCe? You know?
I think that people thought that because I used to always do these long notes in my music. And so I was pretty much the only one doing that at the time. And then she did Show Me Love and she had the note in there. And I think that our tones are similar. But I think her tone is a little bit deeper than mine. And you know, that's one of my favorite songs too, by the way. But
you can hear the similarities, you know what I mean? It's like you just close your eyes for a quick second, you're like, wait a minute.
They used to cough some riffs sometime too.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I think that people thinking that. Because
she came after you.
Yes.
So they're thinking like she's biting or something, you know, or something.
Yeah, I think people used to try to.
And that's CeCe.
You know what I'm saying? They used to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro,
you're right, yeah. And you're just, that's a peer, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but you know, and salute to Crystal Waters, you know,
absolutely.
Just, you know, that whole dance era, you know. Speaking of Steve Hurley, you know, going on with Keep on Walking, how did the label set that up for you guys, or did he seek you out, or?
This was crazy. Steve had turned in a cassette tape to the label. Like at the time, it was cassette tapes. So I'm aging myself greatly here, but no. Speak on it. So he had turned in a demo, and the demo had Love Thing and Keep on Walking.
Wow.
So I only heard Love Thing. And for some reason, I was just playing the demo one day, and I was like, what is this?
Oh, God.
It was Keep on Walking. I was like,
yeah.
My manager at the time, I was like, yo, can you hit them up and ask them if this song is still available?
Oh, my goodness.
And so it was.
Right.
And I was like so excited about that because I almost missed it. Yeah. I almost missed that song.
Out of curiosity, who was that going to go to if you would have missed it? Did they say?
I think Kim Sims.
Really?
Yeah, Too Blind to See It.
Yeah, yeah. Nah. Respectfully.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of my, I promise you, it's like when I was doing it in the studio, it's funny because they were like, do it kind of like how Tina Marie would do like certain inflections, sitting, waiting, anticipating.
Right.
Like it was just like it was the twists and turns of kind of like, they were like, think of how she would do something like that. And it's just like,
wow, that's interesting. But that just shows you your versatility, you know?
trust me, you know what? I don't think I really understood what it was at the time.
Yeah.
It's funny, I listen to stuff now and I go, and I really couldn't hear that I sounded so different from other people, right? And it's like, then I listen to it years later and I go, oh, I did have my own sound. It was just really strange. Like, it was like, but you can't hear it at the time because you're the person doing it. You're not,
Exactly. Like you're doing it, you're in the midst of this. But on the outside looking in, people are going to notice. But when you're doing it, you're like, oh, it's like if you're losing weight and you don't, you see yourself every day and people, you see somebody you ain't seen in a while, man, you're losing some weight, brother. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I don't see it, but you know what I mean? But you see yourself every day because you're doing it. But outside looking in, they're always going to notice something else. Absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool, man. And do you still talk to him, to Steve?
So I've been working on a new show CD, and I just called Steve Hurley. This was like 2 days ago. Okay. And I was like, hey, I need certain sounds and stems and, and he usually doesn't just, producers don't just give you stuff. So they got to trust you that you're not just trying to do your own damn project and put,
right.
I'm like, hey, it's strictly for this and this is what it is.
CeCe Peniston.
Be like, what you doing?
Like, come on now, yeah.
Not that I don't have the right to do my own too, but to be honest with you, if I'm going to do something like that, I would rather include him in the process.
Yeah, that's just off GP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now earlier, I mentioned a few pretty incredible moments in your life, and this question is going to be touching on that. So it's going to be a three question in one. You know what I mean? So we're going to start with, what was it like performing at both of President Bill Clinton's presidential inauguration ceremonies, and how did that happen?
That was so awesome. I was actually performing for Hillary out in Madison, Wisconsin, doing an event.
Okay.
And she absolutely, it was like Madison, Wisconsin.
No,
at a rally,
Got you. Okay.
It was a rally that she was doing. I'm sorry. I was thinking Raleigh, like Raleigh, North Carolina.
I'm with you.
Okay. Yeah, it was at a rally. So I performed for her, and she's like, I really love, like, basically, I guess she told her people she really loved what I did performance-wise. Right. So then one of the guys was like, hey, Hillary loved the performance. We're going to have to contact you to do, the inauguration. I was like, for real? Wow. He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, bad. So he ended up booking me. And it's funny because I seen her. She was like, CeCe, how are you? Right. She was so pleasant. Like, yeah, it was really cool.
And you did both of them, both of his terms, so they like really took a liking to you.
I think so. And it's funny because when he came out to here for another event, there was somebody slated to perform. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm requesting CeCe. And I was like, please don't have this person throwing darts at me. Please. They're in the audience like
you know
this.
What I mean? Yeah. Exactly. I know. Yeah. When he came out here, man, remember he ate at Bone Shows, in South Phoenix, and he kind of like changed South Phoenix after that, like for the good, like there was more development after that. He just really saw a liking into Phoenix, and to have, one of our hometown heroes, be his right hand, like, his go-to, that's really, really dope.
That was like, wow for me, for real. Like the fact that he loved me like that and loved my music and, it was cool. And I told my mom, I got in trouble for this. So we were taking pictures and I was like, can I hug you, Bill? She said, you did not call him Bill. And I was like, Ma, I just was speaking in the moment. She was like, you call him President Clinton. You don't be calling him Bill.
That's my homie, though, now. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I got in trouble. She was like,
might get a burger
do not call him Bill.
That's great.
Because I was like trying to be respectful. I didn't want to just put my arm out, you know what I'm saying, at the time. Because it was like
He wasn't tripping.
Right.
But I totally get it. My mom would have told me the same thing.
Okay. Not, black mamas. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. That's so cool. And that's something you can just check off. Like, you can take that with you. You know what I mean? Like, that's big, South Africa, post-apartheid, how does that happen? And what is that like?
Wow, that was overwhelming as well because they kept asking me to come perform. And I was like, nope, I'm not going till after apartheid. I'm not showing my face over there.
Yeah,
I'm like, I was like, it's a huge deal. And I was like, it's a problem. And, so I was like, but I would love to. So they ended up booking me like right afterward, I guess, because of finally. Finally it's over. And I got, the recognition. But Whitney went over like after me, but she got the bigger recognition than me because, she's Whitney,
Rightfully so.
And but just to know that in my heart, like I was one of the first artists.
That don't take away from you though, CeCe. Like, don't get that twisted. You know what I mean? Like, God bless Whitney. You know what I mean? But like that's your moment too. You know what I mean? And for you to be the first like foreign female, you know what I mean, to go out, like that's huge. What was the reaction like out there?
That was great. It's like I got on the stage and they were singing all my songs.
They knew the records?
They knew the records. They were in there like, yes, CeCe. Like they were vibing for sure.
Goodness, man. And huge crowd.
Yes.
Huge. I mean, this is
like 1,000-seat venues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
overlapping with people.
Like 2,000 and 3,000, like on some of them. You know what I'm saying? So we did a lot of like band shows over there, like in tour, and it's been great. I recently went over there for tour. That went really well.
Was that was a good time?
Yeah. We had a good time. We were gone for like 2 weeks. So we had manager and brother sister time. So we had fun.
That's
and
dope.
I performed and it was cool. We kicked it and
that's so dope.
Yeah, it was dope.
And then it's so cool because you're like, I was here before, you know what I mean? Like, and it was a big situation, you know what I mean?
Each time though, it's like you find out something each time differently, and it's just a different time, different areas that you're going to. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's so dope. That's historical. You know what I mean? Like when I saw that, I was like, wow, man. Like just and at that time too. You know what I mean? It's like when it really meant something serious. I mean, it still does, but at that exact moment in time, couldn't nobody take that from you,
Yeah, I think people saw the bondage that was going on in, South Africa, and I think people felt a way about it, but they didn't know how to express their disagreement or their turmoil about the situation. Right.
Exactly, man. Wow. And then, of course, the king of pop, Michael Jackson. So 9/11 happens, and he ends up throwing a huge benefit show, right, to benefit the families of 9/11. And it was United We Stand. And he requested that you be on that. And you rocked out there. How was that?
That was another awesome event. Surprising, like everybody was there in the industry.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on one area and walk by. Here's Mariah walking by, and I didn't know she was so tall.
Is she?
She's tall, like about 5'9".
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with shoes with pumps.
Well, like 5'11". Like about 5'11".
Yeah. 6 feet with heels.
I know. Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. But everybody's there. Diddy was there, and just who else was there? Usher and Maya. Just there was so many different artists to just keep naming, but it was amazing.
But it's like, did you know Michael prior to that?
I didn't.
Really?
No.
You guys never crossed paths at all?
No. In fact, we really didn't get a chance to meet. There was so much going on. Mm-hmm. Like he was in the room with everybody, but not like able to maneuver. Just like prepping people, talking to them as a general crowd of who was doing everything.
Right.
But it's like you're sitting here and he's like across the room over there and you're like, oh, that's Mike. Hey, Mike.
Oh, so you were in the room with them though?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was across the room. Like I'm across the room and I'm looking like, there's Mike. Like put it like this: you're a fan of other people's work as well as people are a fan of yours, and so I was a little bit excited about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like Michael knows who I am. You know what I mean? Like I'm here because of Mike. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty incredible. How was that? Like the concert? What records did you do? Do you remember?
Definitely the hits. I think it was "Keep on Walking," "Finally," and "Love Thing." It was only like about 3 songs. It
Because they
was,
had so many people.
yeah, they had to give everybody like
Getting down.
15-minute intervals and
Right, right. But it was like, and it was now was that in New York? Was that at Madison Square Garden? Where was that at?
God, I think it was in New York. It wasn't at Madison Square Garden. It was like an outside theater venue that they had.
Yeah, it was outside.
And it was like 18,000 people, seater, you know? Yeah, awesome.
That's so cool, What can you think off the top of your head? Like just, I know you have thousands of them, you know what I mean, from the career that you've had, but what's like one other memorable moment that really just always like was like real special to you?
Probably doing an audience with the Pope.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That was a great event. We went over to Rome, Italy. My mom with me at the time. I was doing a project called Sisters of Glory, and and we went over there. It was Mavis Staples, Lois Walden, Diane Reeves, and there was one more. I think it was a Shaka at the time. It was like 4 or 5 of us, and we were doing the Sisters of Glory thing with Warner Brothers. Okay. It was like a gospel record that we did.
Yes.
And there was Albertina Walker who was on that, Dorothy Norwood, Phoebe Snow. Those were all the people that had been involved or off. Oh, it was Thelma Houston, and Thelma Houston too.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like the baby of the group.
Right.
And so we all went over and we did not only Woodstock, the brand new Woodstock, we opened up Woodstock, but we did an audience with the Pope, and the Pope came in the room, Pope John Paul, and he came in and he blessed us and gave us rosaries, and it was like 25 of us.
That's incredible.
It was dope.
And it's out there, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like, and that's cool. And your mom was with you?
Yeah, she was there, and Andrew Bocelli was there. That was, to hear him sing and, because I like different styles of music. I love opera and, Pavarotti and different stuff. So I listen to different genres of music. I don't listen to one thing.
Have you ever tried to kind of go that route? Like just to try like a opera style or?
You know what? I had higher notes when I was younger. As you get older, like as you mature, your vocals kind of like change. Your voice gets lower.
Yeah.
And so some of the notes that I used to be able to hit, it's like I can't hit the same notes the same way.
Right.
It just happens with age.
Yeah. But you could tell too, because you definitely had that range, man. And it's like, so I can see that, and just trying out with it, because the fact that you like those different genres, it's like I always wonder, like, you dip and dive in that in a little bit, but.
Probably when I was younger, my voice, I could definitely hit like Minnie Riperton type notes.
Yeah.
And I still like look at that. I'm like, dang, I was hitting some high notes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really realize like between Minnie Riperton and Angela Winbush, singing Angel. I used to sing Angel all the time by her, and I used to hit all the high notes and stuff. I still have a lot of this stuff on like cassette tapes of me singing live.
Wow.
When I was younger, so.
Wow. Did you grow up singing in the church at all?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I didn't think I asked you. Yeah, you did. Okay.
I was 13 at the time when I joined the choir.
That's right. I'm sorry. So that was yes, that's right. Okay. So it was the choir. And what church was it again?
It was First New Life Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend Barnwell.
And that was out here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So and you'll notice that too, you know what I mean? A lot of like male or female singers that came up in the church, there's just that difference, Faith Evans, Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? Like Tevin Campbell, right? Like it's just a difference, as opposed to someone who didn't. Like they're just different, man. You know what I mean? Like, those are, you're in there singing, you know what I mean? And so you'll notice that, like, you could tell, they came up in the church, you know what I mean? Because there's just a distinct, That's so cool, man. Wow.
It just comes from the soul in a different type of way.
It does. Absolutely. So tell us what's next for CeCe Peniston.
Wow. So next for me, I have a tour in Australia that I'm getting ready to do coming up in April.
Okay.
I'll be in Australia for 2 weeks.
There you go.
Me, Snap, and Dream.
Okay.
So that's the groups. Getting in the studio. Actually tonight, I'm doing a song for the Real Funky Bunch.
Yes.
So I'll be in the studio doing a song for them. Shazam, that just came out. A song that I do with Shazam on H-Town.
Yes. Oh, yes. Talk about that. Talk about that.
That was cool.
That's a great song.
Yeah, that was a good song to do, and I enjoyed that because I was surprised that like I consider him like one of the princes of R&B, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, one of the princes of R&B and the Queen of House, and put both of those together. It's a interesting dynamic. So that was cool. I did a song with Natasha Pierce.
Okay.
A song called Dance.
Nice.
And then I also have the Roots Picnic coming up.
Yes, and oh God, I'm doing everything I can to hopefully try to get out there. That I saw that they're gonna have you on there, and that is such a good look, CeCe. You know, and it's so deserving. I was like, damn it, get him, CeCe. You know, when I saw that, like, that's so awesome. That's the end of May, right? Like,
yeah, actually, it's June 1st. I'll be on.
oh, June 1st. Okay,
June 1st.
Because they're doing a tribute to Dance, right? So is Crystal Waters gonna be on there too?
Crystal's on there. Yeah, for sure.
And then I think it's Rich Medina's gonna be doing the DJing, or is he putting it together? The set? Because they break it up, you know.
Yeah, he's doing a DJ set, then it's Crystal, and then me. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna kill it.
Thank you. I'm doing all Steve Hurley songs basically. It's crazy, you know.
You got to tell him to pull up if you can. You know what I mean? Oh man, that's so dope. So yeah, that's gonna be great. And I'm pretty sure you get a great overall, like a great response. In Philly, period, I'm sure.
You know what? Philly is a great market for me.
Yeah.
It's like they like house music, so it's like I get to do. It's like Chicago. Like Chicago, I get to do house music, and Philly, you get to do house music. Atlanta has portions of that as well.
New York too.
Yeah, definitely. Jersey.
Yeah.
Jersey. Yes.
Yes.
Jersey.
Yes. Oh, that's where it just goes down. Because even like the hip hop back then, like. Even like early Main Source, you know what I mean? The Jungle Brothers, like that was house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was hip hop, but it was also house. And then because I always tell people like there's a fine differentiation between like West Coast house. You know, it was more like, yeah, like Richard Humpty Vision and Bad Boy Bill and DJ Irene and all them. But it's like out there in Chicago, it's just different. You know, you got deep house, you have different kinds where it's like you can vibe out, you know what I mean? Okay. Like, so no, that's so dope, man. And so yeah, Philly's got to be it's going to be a great time. I'm so happy that that they put you on there.
Thank you. Me too.
That was beautiful. So you got that, and then what else?
Then I have a show out in San Francisco coming up.
Okay.
Those are the main things that I have right now. And
then staying busy.
And then staying in the studio for my own project and stuff that I'm working on.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Working on another solo right now?
Yeah, at least an EP.
EP, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What's not to give away too much, but what's the feel that CeCe's going for on this one?
Dance R&B.
Okay.
Definitely dance R&B, and then I'd like to really do a Christmas album because I haven't done a Christmas album, and a Christmas album is something that you can put out every single year and usually does pretty well, you know?
I could totally see you doing it. That's a great idea. You know, I mean, we were speaking about Mariah earlier.
Okay, I know.
She's like
she got the
known for hers.
Oh,
I know it. It's not a game. It's not a game, you know, so I could see that happening for you, you know. Just do it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, with you, CeCe, it's like, you know, you have hits, you know what I'm saying? You have hit records, CeCe. Like, you have a voice that's like no other. You've made history. Nobody could tell you anything, you know. Don't ever forget that. You know what I mean? Like, no one could tell you anything. You've done it. You've made your mark, and you're just going to continue to blossom. And I just wish you the best, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love it. So this last question that I got for you, CeCe. Now, you know, it's just always good to remember those people who were there from you from, you know, your day ones, friends, family, friends who turned into family, you know, supporters, fans, everything, right? You know, sometimes you can kind of get, you know, lost in the sauce, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, people feel like, you know, like, maybe you're just not feeling what you used to feel, right? You know, but you have those ones that were always in your corner. And when I say the word special, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're on a pedestal. It just means that to those people, you are always special and you were somebody that they look up to. So this question here, how does it feel to know you're special and extremely loved?
It's actually overwhelming. Maybe a little emotional. Thank you. It's still a blessing to know that I get to touch people's lives. It's like, out of all the things that have happened in my world, it's like I already know that God says, no, I need you out healing hearts. I need you out. I need you to touch people in a different type of way. I need you to do music. Music is healing. It's surreal. At times, sometimes I forget that's what I do for a living. It's like, because I'm not always CeCe Peniston every day. Right, that's I'm Cecilia first, and I said Cecilia is who I am. CeCe is what I do.
Right.
And so I think that when it's like, sometimes I walk out into my foyer, I put up like all these gold albums, and it was like, all right. Thank you, God. Like, you know, it's a blessing. So I can just say thank you to all the fans, the people that continue to support me, the people that continue to love me, all the people that come and tell me stories. They're like, well, you probably heard this, but they don't understand. It's like, to hear it again is a blessing each and every time. I'm not one of the people like that push people off when they're trying to tell me stuff, you know. Right. So, yeah.
And there you have it, everybody. My name's Dave Miranda, and this has been another amazing episode of Just Give Me Five. I'm here with the one and only CeCe Peniston. CeCe, thank you again. Thank you again. This has been nothing short of amazing. And like I said, I just wish you nothing but continued success and nothing less.
Thank you so much.
And there we go, y'all. So till next time, thank you guys. And we out, y'all. That's a legend right here.
Thank you.